You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, January 18th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
You're our local mortgage experts. We bring in studio each week the best of the best experts in all arenas regarding your money. We're here to help you in today's economy. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com, and we'll connect you with the guests that we have on the show today. Our next guest and our last guest, also first guest and first time in studio, is Jake Haynes of Action Tax Services, LLC. Too many self-employed individuals and small business owners are overpaying taxes. Jake, welcome for the first time in studio.
Well, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. It's nice to come in and share some of these highlights about, first about your book, Tina.
Oh,
I see
thank
you have a great book about Journey with Me.
Yeah.
And it looks like it talks about, goal setting and planning your future.
It does. It's a journey in life and how I got to my personal and professional core practices. Thank you for that shout out, Jake.
Very definitely.
Yeah.
I've in all my life, I've been a big time goal setter and entrepreneur. And this book, I've got to have it. It will resonate.
Oh, well, let me know what you think. Thank you so much, fellow author. And a little bit about Jake as an entrepreneur. Jake has been coaching business owners for more than 14 years in every facet of operating and growing their business. He has succeeded as well as failed in business. Jake lived the first 40 years of his life with epilepsy, enduring thousands of seizures, yet amid all of the inherent challenges, he reached great heights, including summiting the 5 highest peaks in Washington and building several successful businesses. Now cured of epilepsy, he continues to succeed by goal setting and achieving every day. As a CPA, business coach, and entrepreneur, he serves the needs of hundreds of business owners as his firm at Action Tax Services, LLC in Auburn.
Look at you, Jake. Way to go. Summiting all the highest peaks. That's quite the feat.
Well, when I was 16 years old, I got to summit the Mount Rainier as an award for becoming an Eagle Scout. My Scoutmaster took me up there, and I had a massive seizure on the summit. Almost died.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a sad experience. And so once I was cured of epilepsy, which is, you got to have me on the show again. I got to tell you the story. It's absolutely amazing.
I'm sure that it is.
Yeah, but I was cured in a miraculous way, and I knew exactly what I needed to do, and that was to go climb that mountain again. And we prepped, and we climbed several mountains around here, and then did that summit. And yeah, I've owned a lot of businesses, and just it's kind of unique. I'm the CPA that's an entrepreneur, and most of them are bean counters, right?
Yeah.
But I'm the entrepreneur, and so it is so exciting to work with so many business owners all over the Northwest and help them not only save tax dollars, because I'm the evil guy who just can't stand the IRS, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure that we don't pay them any more than we have to, kind of thing, right? I mean, we don't break the law, but we bend it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, it's so much fun to do that, and then to help those business owners take their business to the next level. And they read my book as part of our coaching, and then we go on and coach, and we help them in every way to be the best business that they can, the number one business in their industry.
Love that.
So speaking of overpaying the IRS, why are small business owners overpaying the IRS?
Most small business owners don't get the advice that they need. The number one thing that a small business owner that is profitable should be doing is setting up an S corporation.
Yeah.
And they don't know about it. They don't do it. They pay self-employment tax, and sometimes they pay a lot of self-employment tax. One of those categories that has a lot of that happening is real estate agents. They don't necessarily have a lot of expenses. And they might make 40, 80, 120, 250,000, whatever, right? And they're just going along. They're busy as can be. And finally, so many of them come in and sit down and talk to me, and they're looking at a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 tax bill. And it's so exciting to help them cut that in half.
Yeah, I bet. What a great service to be able to provide. So let's talk about, what does it take to set up a corporation, Jake?
So it's one thing to set up an LLC, a limited liability company.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got
is,
a couple of those.
Yes, and that's a state structure. The thing that you must do is you must set it up to be taxed at the federal level as an S corporation, okay? That makes the profit passive income, not earned income that is subject to self-employment tax, right? So that's the main thing you do, and you do that by working with both state and federal authorities to do it. But here's where it gets awesome, okay? Your listeners right now are listening to this saying, oh, I made a lot of money this last year, and they're thinking they're going to come in, and I'm going to say set up an S corporation. It's going to be effective as of the day they come in and visit me.
Yeah.
No. The reality is that they can set up their entity to be retroactively effective for a prior year.
Really?
Right? So they come in and they're like, last year I made $150,000 and what do? I need write-offs, and the first thing we're saying is, well, you need to be an S corporation for last year.
Yeah.
Now, interesting rule. The IRS recently said that you do not get the same authorization that you used to have to elect an entity retroactively. So what our firm has done is pre-created entities to help them. In other words, I have a shell company that I sell to you, and I say, here's what you need to be taxed as an S corporation. And we just transfer ownership into their name, and boom, they're an S corporation.
You
firm.
are a creative CPA.
Yes.
Love
Jake,
that.
Look at you.
Well, it's a lot of fun. Taxes aren't fun historically, right? I'm like,
well,
like this
anything's
weird
fun
geek,
when you
right?
can help save money.
That's
and,
right.
you've got a passion in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you're already a corporation? Is there a possibility that you're overpaying still?
The number one thing that shareholders in an S corporation are doing is they're taking a salary that is exorbitant. They are led to believe that the only money they can take out of a corporation is the salary that they receive. But that is in fact not the case, because they can take shareholder distributions. The IRS says you are required to take a reasonable salary for your position. So question, what's reasonable?
Yeah, who decides
That's
that?
a gray area.
That's right. Because if you make $100,000 in profit, right, and you take a $100,000 salary, well, you just paid self-employment tax on all of your profit, just like a sole proprietorship, right? If you have a $100,000 salary and you take no salary and pay no self-employment tax, hello, IRS, we're going to audit you, right?
Yeah.
So what's the balance? And the balance is real critical. And we look at that and determine what is the right salary to take. And the rest of the income is passive income, not subject to self-employment tax. And people save thousands.
Yeah. So, Jake, let's talk about investments and how investments can help in saving business tax dollars.
Well, at the end of the year, you make an investment in assets and also making sure that you take advantage of every write-off that you can, right? There's certain things you can do at the end of the year to prepare, and also something like a 401k, an IRA, a SEP IRA, a traditional IRA, right? There are a lot of options to offset your taxable income, whether you're an individual or a business owner.
Jake, let's talk a little bit about the coaching side of things. How else does Action Tax Services help with businesses bringing home more money?
Well, we have a coaching program that we've used for the last several years that puts people through the 12-step process, and we get them from start to finish. We determine these long-term milestones, goals, and this plan, and we put it together, and then we meet on a regular basis, generally once a month, and we start working on those goals. And there is something to say about being held accountable to the goals that 100%. You want to achieve, right? Yeah. Every person should have a coach, right? Whether you're in business, whether you're in whatever professional realm you're in, everyone should have a coach. And I've had a coach for over 20 years, and he holds me accountable, man. I am always held to the fire. And so you want someone that holds you to the milestone. So coaching is really an individual thing, right? It's what do you need in your business? And we get some things very systematized and general about business, and then we get very specific about what are we going to do to help you be the number one most successful business in your industry, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
In our book, the 7 Strategies of Highly Successful Business Owners, in my book, it gives all of those strategies to individuals. It gives everything's there. They can read it and get everything they need. And what we do in coaching is we implement the strategy.
So, Jake, let's talk a little bit about your book a little bit more. If your people are not in the area and they want to get the resources that you have to share in your book, talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the book in general, it is a book about having a business coach. It is we give over 350 ways to market your business in the book, and as I am a CPA, it has lots of tax strategies. There's things about business leadership and how to lead in today's business world. It's a great resource. So if you want to become the number one leader in your industry, it gives the formula.
Jake, let me ask you, so why aren't others telling business owners to follow some of these strategies and do the things that you're telling them to do?
You know, there's a lot of strategies, like, you know, the strategies that are in the book. The most of your CPAs, they're not business coaches, and that's all right.
Yeah.
You know, if they do taxes, and they may do them wonderfully, right? But when it comes to the strategies of like the S corporation, that is like the unanswered question of the decade. Why do people come into me and they were not told, or they were even told by their prior CPA or tax person, oh, you don't need the S corporation? That just blows my mind. I almost can't answer the question. Why don't they, right?
So, Jake, I would love to have you come back in studio and just talk all on this question, because I think it would be a really great topic. But just briefly on a person being able to save money on a real estate investment like 1031 exchange, charitable trust, passive rental income.
Oh, yeah. You know, we set them up.
We could have a show on each one of those individually.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, the 1031 is something we do frequently with, you know, we work with about 500 real estate agents, and we are constantly, you know, working through these 1031 exchanges. Great tool to use, you know, and the charitable trust, it's great for, especially if you're wanting to make charitable contributions, now you're doing it tax-free and getting the tax benefit, you know. Passive rental activity, lots and lots of strategies you can use to create the right kind of tax portfolio you want, or not tax but retirement portfolio that you want.
So we'll have Victoria reach out to you, our director of marketing, and get you scheduled for 3 shows for these individual topics, because I think that would be really great to just really focus and talk about those. It's awesome, Jake.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Well, Jake, we've got time for a couple more questions, but we're running down. I wanted to make sure that people know the name of your book, and how can they get a copy?
So the book is The 7 Strategies of Highly Successful Business Owners. And, you know, it's on Amazon, and we just get on. It's a second edition. And it's planned. We are looking to have it be an Amazon #1 bestseller. So it's
I'm sure it's heading there.
Yes,
so awesome.
We are actually looking and planning for that. If you would like the book, you can of course go on Amazon and get it. It's available as an ebook or as an audiobook or as a paper copy, whatever you'd like. You can also text us at 253-240-4852. That's 253-240-4852, and just simply say book, and we will reply with the appropriate link for you to get a copy of my book.
I love that, Jake. Jake, thank you so much for coming in studio. Really excited to have you back and dial in at a deeper level on some of these topics, and it was great having you here.
Yeah, thank you, and I look so forward to reading your book, Tina.
Thank you so much. And to chat with any of the guests that we've had on the show today, please call 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. This is your host, Tina Mitchell, signing out for the day.
And your co-host. I jumped the gun there.
A little early
Harvey,
there.
your co-host.
That's awesome. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you same time, same place, right here on 1150 AM at KKNW next weekend.